I'm now live again on Facebook. Yeah. Basically, I had the phone the wrong. I had the phone the wrong way, so it was sideways, which is no good. Now it's up the right way, and I'm just so excited. Yeah, very excited. Thanks. So what I'll quickly do is put a title on this, and then just apologies for those that were watching for those few seconds. Edit post. That's it. Here we go. We're up and running. Wow. Unfortunately, the old glasses, if I move this up a little bit, no, it makes no difference. I've got the screen blaring, so I'm going to go like that. Yeah, that's better. Unless I can move the screen to a different angle. Maybe like that, it doesn't shine so much in me eyes. Because, you know, being a blind man like I am, I need these old goggles on. Yes. That's a bit annoying. Isn't there a way of turning the screen down a bit? That's it. If I can turn the screen down, the brightness, that might help. How do we do that? How is that possible? Stuff I should have done before. System, sound notification power. So maybe brightness. Display. It'd be display, wouldn't it? Right, let's have a look at my glasses as I turn it down. That's not so bad, is it? Good. I can still see the computer, but it's just about. So, hello. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. So, I'm going to move this microphone over here. Whoops. I'm recording the podcast, and this microphone is for the actual, for the camera, or for the video. So I will officially start now. The video will be, I guess, a bit of a jumble because of the start and everything. But I will edit the podcast. So welcome to jasonnewland.com. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. My name's Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And look at my hair. Look at my hair. Look at it. I'm turning into a lion. This big mane. It's real as well. I mean, if anyone says, oh, is your hair real? Like, why would I put fake hair in this style on my head? Well, you know, if I was going to have fake hair, it would be nice. Yeah. So, hey, I thought today we'd do something a bit different. If anyone wants to say a hello on camera for 30 seconds or something, I can bring people on. Just need to let me know. If you want to come onto the camera, say hello, and in the same way you can say hello to the people listening, because people listening live or watching live can hear your voice, and those listening on the podcast later, because it's being recorded on my podcast, so I'll be uploading that on all the podcasts, places later on, and your voice will be heard. So if you wanna, then please do. If you don't, then don't. It's up to you, man. And I'm hoping I can keep a track of who's listening or who's watching on Facebook. I've got Peter, I've got Kathleen, and I've got Ben. Hello, all of you. Hello. Kathleen. Kathleen from Australia? Is that Kathleen from Australia? You can answer if you want. You can, if you want. So send me little messages. This is an interactive podcast. Now, hopefully you can hear me, so I'm going to have to test. So this is great. So as I do that, I'm going to press the port. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to test it quickly to see that I can actually hear and that the volume's working. Because otherwise it's a bit rubbish if it's not. Now, hopefully you can hear me, so I'm going to have to test. So this is great. So as I do that, I'm going to press the port. No, it doesn't matter. Good sound, isn't it? I'm just going to test it quickly. Right, I'll turn that off. I just needed to make sure that the sound was working. Debbie says, hi, Jason. Kathleen says, hi. Yes, hi, hi to both of you, Debbie and Kathleen. Kathleen, you sent me a message, didn't you? A text. The other day. I'm losing track of what's going on. I really am. And also, hello to Ben as well. A regular listener to the podcast as well. So if anyone wants to come on and say hello, I can bring you onto the camera. You will be seen on the video, so you'll be seen by other people, and I will upload this video also to YouTube. So you'll be seen. I think you can probably do it without even being seen though. Pretty sure you can do it where it's just your voice. I don't know. Or you can just face the camera away from your face and talk, if that's what you want to do. And you'll be heard on the podcast. So it's up to you if anyone wants to. As it's a Christmas special edition, let's have a little drink of Coke. I don't normally drink Coke, but I thought I'd give it a go, see what it tastes like. That's yummy. So I've got my water here as well. All prepared really for the rest of the night. I'm going to be here for 17 hours. Yeah. 17 hours indeed. So that's it. If you don't talk to me, I will have to talk. Now, I do have the ability to talk about nothing. But I thought it might be interesting, if you want to get involved, to actually participate in this particular podcast. It's up to you. If you don't want to, then I might as well just do it. I might as well just not do it on Facebook. Although, I guess, I don't know. I'm thinking of doing a like a live stream on YouTube every day, as well as a live stream on Facebook. Now, what I might do is I might end up getting another microphone and another setup and connect that to my iPad. So I'll have to get because the iPad, I need to get sorry, I'm banging the mic. An iPad stand, so it stands that way. Because all the iPad holders always have it sort of long ways. Now, if you want to record, you want to use a video or go live, you can't do it that way. You have to have it the other way, because otherwise you'll be sideways. Well, you can't be seen. The cameras. I don't understand that, considering most people use iPads long ways. Why isn't the camera at the top of the screen? The same as this laptop I've got. It turns into a tablet as well. It's a really good laptop. But the camera's on the side. Absolutely ridiculous. And the picture's awful. I mean, you could say all pictures are awful when I'm on them, but that would be rude. But it's true. But the iPad, the new iPad picture quality of video is pretty good, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. Yes. Yes, ever so much. I wonder if I can embed this. Embed. I can embed it. Embed. Copy into the website. Include full post. No, I'll just copy thing. I'm going to embed this into my website so that what is my website? Don't worry, it only take a couple of seconds. I know my way around. It doesn't take me long to do much stuff these days when it comes to website stuff. Basic website stuff. Just depends on how long. Okay, right, so go into settings. Oh, what? That's not right. Settings. They've changed the whole thing. They've changed it. I don't want that. That's so annoying. You know when they change stuff? Don't change stuff. Okay, so now online store, that's what I want. That hadn't changed anything. I just pressed the wrong button. Not the first time I've pressed the wrong part. Debbie, Kathleen, Ben. Okay, here we go. So if I... So that's been changed. So I'm going to have to... If I add a new bit, I add a section, custom HTMLR, and if I move it all the way up to the top there, custom HTMLR, and if I get rid of that one and I put this one in and I put that one in there, yeah, so basically you can watch me on my website jasonnewland.com. So there you go. A line in the middle. I think middle will be better. A line in the middle. No, it's not doing it anyway. No, shut up then. Yeah. So I'm live. I'm also on my website. So you can, if you want to, you can go and join me on my website. Not that it really makes any difference, you know, I guess. I guess it don't make much. Never mind. If I get rid of that. What? That's weird. Image with text. If you want to PayPal me, you can. PayPal, Jason Newland. No, what is it? I don't know. PayPal.me/Jason Newland. Live stream. I've messed up my website by not being able to concentrate. Basically, don't do more than one thing at once is a motto that you should stick to. Ben, do you want to come onto camera? Do you want to say hello? Want to say hello, Ben? Are you still there, Ben? Ben, are you there, Ben? Now, I think most people, they listen because they just want to listen. You don't want to be active. You don't want to be involved. Why do I want to get involved with that weird man on the screen for? That weird Jason? No. I just want to listen to his silly voice, get bored and fall asleep. That's all. Don't start asking me to come on screen. I don't want to talk to him. No. If I was a soldier. La, la, la. Right, I'll tell you what I do need to do. I need to share this. I need to share it. So get rid of that. Now playing share to a page. That's it. Share there. Done. That way, if you go to the Let Me Bore You to Sleep Facebook page, you can watch. If you go to any of the others as well. All the stuff that I should have done before I actually went live, but you can't do it until you go live. Can we see, hi, it says Jace, hi. Hiya, Mrs. Scuffle. How you doing? Hello, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, each one and all of you. Christmas. Christmas, Christmas. Well, it's Christmas time, little baby, and it's all on your mind. Do-de-do-de-do-do. Well, it's Christmas time, baby. I'm bored now. Anyone got anything to say? 'Cause I'm bored. I can't be bothered anymore. No. That's it. Done. I'm shared everywhere. So what I might do, as I said, I might start doing, I'm thinking about doing a regular thing. I don't know. I'm genuinely thinking about doing a live broadcast. But the thing is, it's not very good, is it? I mean, I'm doing a live broadcast now. Oh. And it's not very good. So would anyone want to watch it? I suppose if I have a little bit of participation, I can make it perhaps a little bit more interesting. Maybe. So what we could do is, let's have a look. Is there any news? Leave the pay. Okay, I'm going to leave that. Any news? News anywhere? Anything? Thing is, if you go into the news, apparently a white Christmas is officially declared because Scotland had a bit of snow. So a white Christmas is declared in the United Kingdom because of a little bit of snow in a long way away, 600 miles away or whatever. To me, that isn't a white Christmas. Kathleen says it's 7 a.m. Boxing Day in Anus. I've just woken up in bed looking a right mess and also too shy to go on camera. Sorry. That's all right. Don't worry. I look a right mess. Someone tried to FaceTime me earlier. Luckily, I didn't answer it because I do not want anyone to see me. I like to prepare. I mean, look at me now. I look like a model now, but you should have seen me an hour ago. I mean, it took me ages to get this wig on, to stick it on and make it sort of stay in the right place. I had to, and obviously I've got a fake beard and everything that I stick on, and all the fake fat, because I'm skinny as anything, so I have to try and put all this little this fat body thing that I put over my body to make myself look fat and disgusting. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. What other things is there? There's NASA has launched a telescope into space today, and $10 billion. So let's say that all together, $10 billion. Wow. 10 billion. Surely, if the thing costs $10 billion, they should be able to see everything from here. What's an extra couple of 100 miles going to make? Because space isn't that far from here. I mean, isn't it? Is it 100 miles, 200 miles? How far to space? Okay, let's have a look. How far to space? 62 miles. It's only 62 miles into space. So if that $10 billion telescope can't see that little bit extra 62 miles, is it really worth all the money, the hundreds of millions or whatever it took to launch it into space? No, but they're going to go further into space. Yeah, I know, but that defeats the object of what I'm saying. So, I've even got a name for it. Jubilant scientists and engineers shouted, "Go, Webb, go!" as a telescope module detached from its rocket and floated off into space far above the Earth's surface. Why do they say that? It's detached from its rocket and it floats off into space. They haven't got to say far above the Earth's surface. We know it's above that's why it's called space. Far above the Earth's surface. Yeah, we know. At least 62 miles. It's hoped that the observatory, a replacement for the 30-year-old Hubble telescope, will be travelling so far out to be able to peer back in time 13.5 billion years to the point within a mere 100 million years of the Big Bang. Why? Surely, isn't it more interesting to look forward into the future? If you're going to look into the past, why not look into the future? See what's going to happen. Look back in time to 13.5 billion years. Because that's the weird thing about space, and not everyone realises this. But those stars, a lot of them, thousands and thousands of stars are just dead. They don't exist anymore. That's just light from millions of years ago, where they've already extinguished stars, suns from other galaxies within the universe, and they're gone. They're dead. They don't exist anymore, and we're still seeing them because the light hasn't reached us yet. That they're gone. So, in a million years, when you look up to the sky, to be fair, after a million years, you probably have problems with your neck looking up. You might have to lie on the ground. You might not be able to get up again. I imagine if you're a million years old and you lie on the ground will automatically try and suck you in to turn you into a fossil. But I don't know if that's true. But it'll look different. The array of stars will be a different design, because so much of what we look at is basically a graveyard, which is weird because it's so beautiful, isn't it? The stars, maybe not everyone agrees with this, but if you get a really black night, like absolutely pitch black, you don't get that so much in a city or a busy town. But if you're in the countryside, you go and there's no light at all, anywhere near where you are, apart from being very scary, you can look up and the stars are thick. The sky is thick with stars, not just the ones dotted around. We say, oh, that's the constellation, that's the twins, there's Taurus. Yeah, you can do that on a normal night, but if it's pitch black, it's thick with stars. If anyone's ever done that, and it's beautiful. It is actually beautiful. Technically, we shouldn't really need streetlights because we've got the moon and we've got the stars. But, on a cloudy night, none of that seems to get through. Anyone listening to this for the first time or watching it for the first time will agree with the title. This surely is very boring. Very boring. I used to be into astrology. And I did. I'm not joking. I used to be... I think I wasn't as into it as people thought. I was interested. And I was probably about 12, 11, 10, 11, 12, probably about 11, 10, 11. And because I showed interest, suddenly I was interested in astronomy, and that was my hobby. It wasn't my hobby, but, you know, Christmas I got bought a telescope, and I got bought books on astronomy, like every birthday and Christmas, and I'm not that interested in it, you know. I read the books, and for me, I wasn't fanatical about the subject in the way that I was with other things that I got interested in. So some of the things I really got interested in as a young person, as a child, martial arts, witchcraft, the occult, but not in a weird way, the occult. I was just interested in more popular culture, you know, of a, sort of like vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein story. You know, say Frankenstein. No, his name wasn't Frankenstein. He was the Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was the one that made him. Shut up. You know, it's about communication. If you say Frankenstein, people know what you mean. They're not thinking of the person, you know, Dr. Frankenstein. They're thinking of the monster, aren't they? I really thought it was that Frankenstein was scary. Yeah, I agree, with his wild hair and the way he was running around, setting, you know, with all the electricity, trying to get that monster alive. No. They're thinking about the monster. Communication. People, in the past I've had that. I said something to someone and said, no, do you mean this? Like, well, if you understood what I meant, you don't need to correct me, do you? Do you? If I was a sailor. So, right. Oh, so unlike the Hubble Space Telescope, which is 340 miles from the Earth, 340 miles from the Earth, that's not far, is it? It can't be serviced if something goes wrong with the observatory, because it's going to be travelling a long way away. It will be on a solar orbit a million miles away to give widest ever spectrum. Show us some aliens. Let's face it, that's what we really want to know. If you asked the general public, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to know about stuff that happened a billion years ago? Or would you like to see a space creature? Would you like to see E.T.? We want E.T., don't we? We want to see spacecraft and aliens. Who cares about the Big Bang? How's that going to help us? Maybe it will. Maybe we can learn something from it. But like, I want to look into the past. Well, if you want to spend all your time looking into the past, just stay on Earth and join the rest of society. You don't need to go into space to do that. Oh dear. There's lots of documentaries. I want aliens. That's what I want. I want to see aliens. But there's been aliens. Everyone knows there's aliens, but this is keep it secret, innit? It's all kept a secret. I just want to see an alien. I can't be arsed with these, you know, the whole like conspiracy theories, and I've had listened to that rubbish for years. I say rubbish because I don't know what's true and what's not true, and all I'm interested in is the truth. I don't care about opinions. I don't care about what might be. Just tell us the truth. If an alien landed, tell us. We're big enough to handle it. Or are we? I don't know. Apparently, the successful Christmas Day takeoff for the 10 billion telescope has been dubbed a Christmas miracle, after the project suffered a series of delays in South America during the season of rain. Blimey. 100 billion. 10 billion rather. 10 billion. It weighs 14,000 pounds. Wow. You know how long it takes to get into space? 26 minutes. 26 minutes. Now, if it's 26 minutes and it's 62 miles, so 26 minutes, so what's that, a mile a minute? 3 miles, 2, 4, 6, let's say 3 miles a minute, which is 60 minutes, 180 miles an hour. Now, 180 miles an hour isn't very fast, is it? When you think it's a rocket, I thought it'd be going about 1,000 miles an hour. 180 miles an hour for something like a rocket with that big old bursty engine and stuff, I thought it would be going like proper fast. So it takes 26 minutes to get into space. And it takes 13 hours to get to Thailand. It takes 26 minutes to get into space. It takes me 45 minutes to get into town on a bus. So there's something wrong here, isn't there? Something not quite right. I always find, you know, when you see the rockets taking off, they're almost slow motion, isn't it? Do you ever think that you could, like, if that was on the ground going at that speed, you could just walk past it? Just tap it on the side. You're going a bit slow, darling, aren't you? Always seems to go really slow. I suppose eventually it gets there. 10 billion. I mean, that's a day's earnings for old Amazon man, isn't it? 10 billion. I think the problem with those billionaires is no matter what they do, they're never going to be able to accomplish what their money could accomplish in their lifetime. Because what they, you know, the amount of money they've got and what that will allow to be accomplished and to be invented and created will not, you know, if they continue to keep that money working, we might not see the fruits of that labour for 200 years because they've got too much money. It's a time thing, isn't it? What I would do if I was them is I'd go to China, or start paying people, build something. Come to England. Come to England, Mr. Amazon man. Come here and start building stuff. Build your rockets here. There's loads of people that would love to work and earn lots of money. Obviously pay us lots of money. But have this country as a place where you build everything. Yeah. Carmelita, hello, is watching. Sarah, hi. So I keep forgetting to look and see who's watching. Diane, apparently according to this 3 people are watching, but a lot more people are watching according to the other things, so I don't know. I can't tell. I canny know. So say hello if you want. Don't if you don't want to, but I highly suggest that you do. You better say hi. Say hello, everybody. Yes. I tell you, I'm pleased with the microphones. Because this is a good quality sound, isn't it? The picture's okay, I think. There's no extra lighting. This is just a light bulb up there. So this is using the iPhone. And there's no extra lighting. The picture, it's not like a bright picture, but it seems okay. And the microphone, because without the microphone, the sound on the live broadcast, the Facebook broadcast, wouldn't be great. It'd be okay. You could hear me fine, but there'd be it'd be a different quality sound. But with this microphone, it's a really good microphone, and it's set up with the iRig, which then clicks into the phone, and it's just better. I mean, you know what? I was thinking about this, I think, earlier, and all those years that I made videos on YouTube, and they were really bad quality video. Kathleen says sound and picture quality is fabulous. Thank you, Kathleen. It's really good to hear, because before you interrupted me, I was just saying, before you interrupted with your kind words, yeah, I don't know if anyone ever used to watch my videos back in the day. Hello, Nikita. Hiya. Debbie says looks and sounds professional. Thank you. I can't believe it. Now I'm actually talking about something. You interrupted me by being nice. Thank you. Looks and sounds professional. Back in from 2007, because I started all this stuff in 2006. Nikita says, I think I broke it. What did you break? What have you broken, Nikita? I can't go on until you tell me. I'm worried now. What have you broke? I did videos from 2006 onwards, because I did it on MySpace first, then I did it on YouTube, and predominantly, although I did do podcasts the whole way through, different places, using different services. I was making YouTube videos, and the quality of the picture and the quality of the sound were awful. Really awful. And people still watched them. Seriously, people, I had, it's weird. Nikita said, we're okay, you're back, don't mind me. Oh, did it go off? Did the video cut off or something? It's hard to know sometimes if it's my end or your end. It depends if I cut off for other people as well. If anyone else can tell me if I cut off. Because I've got an unlimited mobile data on the phone. So I'm not reliant upon the broadband. So it should work better. But it's dependent upon your broadband or your internet, your side. But I think it's also going to be dependent upon Facebook, because that connection between me and Facebook and your connection between you and Facebook, if that doesn't fit and Facebook has a little glitch, bearing in mind the billions of people that are probably using it right now, so there's always a chance it's not going to work. Debbie says all fine here. That's good. Did not cut off here, Kathleen. That's nice. That's good. Good. So I'm thinking maybe because of YouTube, because of now I've got the quality of the sound, I've got the quality of the video, I can go back to making videos on YouTube again without worrying, knowing that the quality is going to be good. I just got to get some quality of content. That's the problem. Because I got, in the old days, the content was good, but the quality of the video and audio is awful at times. It's very echoey, because I never had, Nikita Evans, it's just my brilliant Wi-Fi then. You know what, Nikita, it might not even be that. It might be Facebook. Just remember that Facebook cuts off sometimes. I've had that where it's not the internet and it's clearly, Facebook, look, they've got the amount of people they're trying to serve at the same time. Look how often they have glitches where you can't even post anything, and you keep trying to post something and it won't post, it won't send, and you give up. And then you go back and there's like 12 posts of the same. It's posted later on, but 12 times, because that's how many times you press the button. And it looks ridiculous. Now I blame Facebook for everything. Nikita says, yeah. I don't blame it quite for everything, but that's what parents are for. Can't blame everything on the Facebook. My broadband, I've got 60. No, what do I get? 37 megabytes a second average, which is a bit rubbish. It's okay for. I only use it for telly, just for streaming, and that's it. I can use it for the internet if I want, basic internet. But if I want to upload or download anything, especially podcasts, can't. It just keeps cutting off, and I have to keep starting again and again and again, which ended up with me getting 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 mobile internets. So I've got 2 phones. I'm going to get rid of one. I'm going to get rid of one of those phone broadbands, because basically I've got a new phone. This is the one I'm using now, but I've still been using the old phone because I already had mobile internet on there. So what I'll do, that runs out I think in February, so I'll get rid of that and then just connect that mobile phone to the broadband for if I ever need to use it for stuff. But I don't really. At times I use all 5 devices at the same time uploading podcast episodes, because it takes time. Especially now I've got back to doing the 10-hour recordings again. So, but oh yeah, if you're interested, just to let you know what I did. I wasn't allowed to have long recordings with music in the background, or afterwards rather. So I couldn't have a half-hour recording and then 9.5 hours of music. They stopped that. They said I'm not allowed to do that anymore. So I deleted them all. This is at the beginning of the month. It took me a while to delete them. And then I uploaded versions with music in the background for the duration of the recording. And then I managed to put together 5 hours and 10 hours of me talking underneath the music, or with the music, background. So there's some me counting down, a body scan, relaxation, blowing out candles, counting from 1,000 down to 1, I think. So, or was it 100 down to 1? I forget. So basically what I've done is I've now made it so you can listen to over the longer ones. So I think I'm ticking all the boxes with the podcast host, so I'm not breaking any rules. So hopefully that'll be fine. It just, some people like to listen to the longer version ones, and that was for the last few months they have been the most popular ones that I've done. More people listen to the 10-hour recordings than anything else, which I was a little bit surprised about, really. Just, I didn't expect that many people to. Well, it's just the stats went up, so I had more people listening, more downloads. Yet the amount of those downloads were listening to 10-hour recordings, which meant they could only really listen to one a day. You've only limited to how many 10-hour recordings you can listen to. So, I don't know. I lose track, I do. I don't know where my phone is. Where's my phone? It's over there. Don't know why I'm mentioning that. I just thought I could see if anyone's phoned me. It's Christmas Day after all. I've had one phone call, and then I made another phone call, and that's all I've done. Sent a few text messages. Didn't really want to talk to anyone, really. Just, I had a friend that I've not spoken to for ages phone me. I was like, such a surprise. I was going to try and call him. Debbie says, very clever, and I love it. Thank you. Well, thank you, Debbie. Thank you very much. Just reading the other things. What other news is there? What other news is there? There's got to be other news. There's got to be some nice news. I'm trying to find stuff that's actually nice, but it's not that easy. The Queen did her speech today. I didn't watch it. Who might be the next James Bond? Oh, let's have a look at this. Who might be the next James Bond? Daniel Craig. He looks like an old man now. Look at him looking out of his blue eyes, trying to like, oh, what's going on? It looks like he's like not really sure. He's got to be, how old is he? He's got to be 50, in his 50s. And, you know, you think about, see, they're talking about, what's his name? Tom Hardy. Now, the only problem with, I think, taking on the role as James Bond is, I think it kind of ruins their career in a way. Not financially, obviously, but it's very typecasty. And they're talking about Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's does lots of different roles, and I don't know if it'd be, if, you know, I don't know. I mean, you could do anything. I think you could put anyone as James Bond and make it work. I don't think it really matters. But I quite like the idea of someone that's relatively unknown. I think that. Oh, Debbie says the longer ones with music keep me asleep. Cool. Yeah, someone did send me a message saying that sometimes they'll listen and they'll fall asleep and then they'll wake up, but they hear the music and that just sort of sends them back to sleep again. Who else we got there? Reggie John Page. He's best known for playing the Duke of Hastings in Netflix drama Bridgerton. I've got no idea. I've not watched that. I mean, they're talking about maybe having a female James Bond. I don't think it really... Does it matter, really? I mean, I know some people are like, no, it's a man. It's got to be a man. Yeah, really? I don't really see why. I mean, if you look at Theroux, what's her name? I forget her name now. But there's a lot of, you know, kick-ass women characters that have been played. If you just look at the Avengers, you know, the Black Widow, for example. Her sister would be brilliant as James Bond, but if they got rid of her accent, I don't know what her normal accent is, but she can put on just like an English accent. The lady that plays her sister is also in Hawkeye. She would be great because she can do all the action. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's a great actress. You know, she can do all the stunts and the somersaults and all that stuff. Why not have her? Jamie Bond. And we're in today's age. You can call someone James, and it doesn't matter what sex they are. Things like that are less important in this time, I guess. So why not have a woman? I don't know. Does it matter? Who is your favourite Bond? Tell you my favourite. Charlie Theroux. Yeah, she'd be great. Charlie Theroux. Isn't she good? I know obviously she's a Oscar-winning actress, so obviously she's great. But it's just She'll tell you what I liked about her, and I didn't know that she was. This is back in like probably the beginning of her acting career. She was like a supermodel, wasn't she? She was classed as one of the most beautiful women in the world or whatever. I didn't know that because I watched her first film, the first big film she did, which was called Monster, I think, wasn't it? And she played a killer or a serial killer or something, and she was. Well, she wore makeup to make herself look unappealing, or whatever. She wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to be rude there, but she didn't look like herself in it. So I was a bit confused. Like, why are they calling her the most beautiful woman in the world? Because she clearly just, I didn't like, because I thought that's what she looked like, and then I saw her, but she's played a lot of good characters, and I'm just going to shut up now. I don't think you should go down the road of judging people by their looks, Jason. I'm not. I'm just saying that she didn't depend upon her looks for her acting career. She's just a really good actor. She has that kick-ass vibe. She does. That's what I'm saying. She's got that style. She's got the style. I think Tom Hardy's got that style as well, but I think he might get bored with it because he likes to do other things. I don't know. There's always such a big deal made, isn't there, about race and sex and stuff, like when it comes to James Bond. Oh, he can't be black because he can't be Chinese, he can't be a woman. Who cares? What does it matter now? This is, Idris Elba. Idris Elba is just brilliant, and it'd be nothing to do. He's gone beyond. He's not a black actor. He's an actor. He's gone beyond that. He's just brilliant, and he's one of the coolest dude. And there's very few men that wouldn't want to be him. He's just such a cool dude, and I can't believe I'm using the word dude because I don't use that word, dude. Hey, dude. He's just so, Idris Elba, brilliant. I reckon why don't they get someone that's so unlikely? I don't know. Who could we have? I'm trying to think. I can't think of any actors that I would like to see. Merry Christmas, Yannicka. Hey, Yannicka. Hi. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone that's listening that hasn't, that I don't know that's listening or whatever. And also on the podcast as well, of course. It's Christmas Day, everybody. Merry Christmas. It's 8:32 in the evening here, and we've already done nearly an hour. Blimey. Can you believe it? I've been on here an hour. That's crazy. There was a little bit of a mix-up right at the beginning, but that probably messed up for about 5 minutes because I started the broadcast on Facebook with the phone sideways and now put it up long ways. And you know what? You know what makes the time go by is the interaction. With a bit of interaction, I think it just makes it more interesting for me. It might make it more interesting for you, I don't know. But I know a lot of people listening don't want to interact because they're perhaps trying to go to sleep. It's like, stop asking me questions, Jason. I'm trying to go bye-byes. So I understand that. But not everybody's listening or watching for that reason. I don't know. Daniel Craig, when he became James Bond, I thought to myself, okay, because 15 years ago, he was, I'm going to use the word cool dude again, because he was in a film called Layer Cake, and he was good in that. And I thought, I can see that. But there was a much more obvious person. I forget what his name was. He was in Sin City. And he was Sin City. Okay, Sin City. Let's have a look at the actor who I'm thinking about. Clive Owen. Now, Clive Owen was almost made to be James Bond. He 30 years ago, I think he'd have been James Bond. If he'd have been around 30 years ago, or if he'd have been around, he would have possibly been chosen. He's got the looks, he's got the accent, he's got the kind of swag, he's got that kind of a certain sophistication, a bit posh, and he's a star. He's been in lots of movies. Sin City 2005. That's probably one of my favourite films that he was in, actually. Is he a tough guy? I don't think it matters, because James Bond never really looked tough, do they? They're, not tough. I tell you who I wanted to be James Bond. I'll tell you who. I forget his. I do know his name, but it's gone out of my head. Bodie from The Professionals. Lewis Collins. Now, Lewis Collins, after my favourite, the second Bond, Roger Moore, or the third Bond, or the fourth Bond, depending on how you look at it, he was who I wanted to be James Bond, Lewis Collins. And for those that don't know who he is, check him out, because I'm safe with my sexuality here, I can say that he was one hell of a handsome man. If you put in Lewis Collins, and he was funny, he was handsome, he was tough, he looked the part. And he did do a film called an SAS movie where he was played I forget, he's dead now. He died. But he was brilliant. And The Professionals was a TV show in the very early 80s, maybe late 70s to early 80s. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just like looking now. The Professionals was his big role. He was in other things as well, but The Professionals was 1977 to 81. And it used to be on late at night, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock. So I never got to watch it. Now they show it at, 10 o'clock in the morning here on, some of the smaller channels, TV channels. So this gritty, violent TV show, now it doesn't matter. It's not classed as being adult anymore. You know what I saw the other day, right? On Sky, I think it was Sky 1. It might not, but it was one of the Sky channels, one of the big Sky channels. I think it was Sky 1. They had Game of Thrones. Yeah? And this was at 10:30 in the morning. in the morning. Game of Thrones. And it was an episode where probably at least 100 people got killed, slaughtered, showing people have their, showing throats cut and all that stuff, really horrible stuff. And they were showing it at 10:30 in the morning on television. How is that allowed? I'm turning into an old fogey. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't got a little stick that I'm just waving around. It's wrong! It's wrong! It's part of me thinking, well, it's not fair because I never got to watch stuff like that when I was a kid. I did. But, the thing is, I had older brothers, so I got to watch everything. When the parents are out, they'd get the video and they'd show me whatever. They'd be watching stuff that I really shouldn't have been watching. And I loved it. I tell you. So, it was weird. They had this weird thing, my parents. They wouldn't let me watch, let's say, a zombie film. Or, okay, another example, American Werewolf in London. But let's say a zombie, like a real zombie flesh eaters was banned. It was, it was an awful film, really sick film. They'd watch it while I was in bed. So let's say I was 10, 11 years old. Maybe 10, about 10 years old. I'd be in bed and I could hear, because it had the volume blaring out, I could hear it and hear them laughing. But I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was at night. They'd be watching it at like 9 o'clock in the evening and I'd be in bed. I'd be in bed by 8 or 8:30 or something at that age. However, because they'd rented it out, or if it was a pirate copy, they'd just have it there. But I'd be allowed to watch it the next day. So at 5 o'clock or whatever, I get home from school by 4. I think it's 3:30 we finished. So when I got home from school, I could sit in the room on my own watching it. It's almost like, well, if you watch it at 4 o'clock, it's not going to affect you, is it? But 9 o'clock, ooh. It was more scary watching it on my own than watching it with other people. It's weird. McZoe, Manny, thank you for those that have replied to my Merry Christmas message I posted earlier. So I don't know if anyone... The thing is, doing the live broadcasts, because I don't do them very often and I don't give a lot of notice. I think I gave 15 minutes notice today, which ain't a lot, is it really, to be fair? It's not a lot of notice. So never going to build an audience up of like regulars if I don't do it regularly and if I don't give enough notice. Because let's face it, it's Christmas Day. A lot of people are busy watching, well, hopefully something decent on telly, which is making me think, what am I missing? There might be something on telly I want to watch. The problem with me, not with me, but I watch every movie that I want to watch throughout the year. So it's very rare that there's a film on telly that I haven't seen. Or at least one that I want to watch that I haven't seen. I don't watch every movie that's ever produced. I used to when I was younger. When I was a kid, I just watch any movie. I loved movies, but I kind of loved doing it on my own, really. But when my dad said, let's go to the video shop, we used to get, I think, 3 movies, sometimes 4 out, and we'd watch them on Saturday night and then Sunday during the afternoon, back-to-back movies. I loved it. It was just looking over at the television with those video cassettes stacked up No, 4 videos to watch. Oh, 4 movies. Honestly, I don't know why. I just loved it. And I didn't really care much what it was. We didn't watch much rubbish stuff, though. We seemed to be able to pick good films. There was a lot of good horrors back then. Yeah, I just remember I watched quite a few good horrors. Ones that I shouldn't have been watching, of course. But then I'm trying to think what other kind of films we used to watch. The stuff that I used to watch on my own when I got a bit older and I was able to go to the video shop and just get my own videos out was comedies and martial art films. So every single kung fu film that was available in the 80s, the early 80s, up to about 85, I'd seen. I mean, I watched anything and everything. Whether it's subtitled, whether it was dubbed, I didn't care. I watched every martial arts film available. And I'd go to 1, 2, 3 different video, well, the only 3 video shops there were in the town. I'd go there and go to those and I'd find, whatever I could. And also comedies, loved comedies. So anything with, we're going back. So I was a fan of Steve Martin before he was famous in the UK. So he became famous with Roxanne. That was his big UK film. It wasn't a UK film, but that was the one that suddenly he was a big star. Even though he'd done The Jerk and he'd done other films in America, but that was the one that made him really well known in England or in the UK. And then he did Parenthood. Was it Parenthood? And again, that was a huge hit as well. Trains, Planes, Automobiles, huge hit. Father of the Bride and all that stuff. So those were the films. The Three Amigos. So he did those. But the films he did before that was funniest films, from my opinion. The Man with Two Brains, All of Me. I've got to check now the films, the ones. Let's have a look. So Steve Martin films. I can't remember all of them. Steve Martin. So there was All of Me, Man with No Brain, The Jerk. I can't remember. I've seen all of them. Every single film he did. Up to that point. I've not seen every film he's done since. Because... Oh, okay, wow. I can't believe I forgot that. So, films, plays, films written by... Why are you doing that for? Filmography. I just want to see what films, and they're saying films written by him. I don't care what's written by him. Right, here we go. The first film he did was Another Nice Mess. Then The Absent-Minded Waiter, which was a short film. So he was famous in America as a stand-up comedian, and he was, for those that don't know, he did Saturday Night Live. So he was famous in America, but he wasn't famous in the UK. He did come over and do stand-up bits, and he did a bit which was the fly, a dying fly or something. So he did that before he was famous here, but he was already famous in America. In the 70s, he used to sell arenas out. He used to tour arenas with his stand-up show. He was huge comedy star in America. We didn't really know who he was here, which is crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? In fact, you could say it's wild and crazy. Okay, 1979, he did The Jerk. So that was his first big film, and he's the writer as well. And then he did Pennies from Heaven. Right, here are the films that I remember. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. Brilliant film. The Man with Two Brains. Brilliant film. Lonely Guy. Brilliant film. All of Me. Brilliant film. So those those 4 films from between 82 and 84. So Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, The Man with Two Brains, The Lonely Guy, and All of Me. For me, they were his 4 top films that he ever made. More so than The Jerk, and I think The Jerk was one of his biggest films. So I've got someone writing here. Nikita says, I can remember watching horror movies as a little kid, assuming I was allowed. What were they thinking? So growing up in the 70s, 80s thing, maybe relaxed parenting. I don't know, Nikita. I don't know. It seems weird. It just what I find weird is that I had to go to bed at 8 o'clock, but then be allowed to watch stuff during the day that was at one point banned. Zombie of Flesh Eaters was a banned film. I don't think when we watched it was banned. I think it was taken off that banned list. It was probably about 1981 time. So we rented it from the video shop. But there was times like on a Saturday night when I could stay up later, or sometimes we'd even just watch a horror film. There was one called Inseminoid, which was, we watch it early evening. It's like, really? I didn't complain because I liked them, but I didn't. There was once, I'll give you more of an idea, and it's one of the most disgusting films ever, actually, is Death Wish. We watched, I was at the dinner table on a Sunday lunchtime, having our Sunday dinner, and we had a TV in a corner, and we watched Death Wish 2 while we were eating our Sunday dinner. That's a disgusting film, even by today's standards. Why? No kid should be allowed to watch that film. It's awful. I don't think anyone should be. It's just awful. Anyway, if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Debbie says, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Yeah, actually, that is one of my favourite Steve Martin films. I forgot about that one. I'm just looking through it. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is a great film, but I think I wouldn't give that as a Steve Martin film. It's a 50-50, isn't it? Oh God, what's his name that was in it? What's his name? Michael Caine. The two of them together made that film great. Nikita says, but my mum didn't like me watching Madonna videos. I don't think my mum would have liked me watching Madonna videos if you knew what I did when I watched them. So, I don't know which film. I think it's The Lonely Guy, 1984, where Steve Martin comes home and he finds his girlfriend in bed with another man, and he just takes his clothes off and gets into bed next to them. Now, I couldn't stop laughing. I was rolling around laughing at that. Now, I thought that he didn't realise, it was just such a surreal thing to do. And I just found it hilarious. And there's another scene where he's actually got, because he's lonely. He's really lonely. And the three things that I noticed, remember, of that film is, and I think it's that film, he's got life-size cardboard cutouts of people in his home to stop him from being lonely. And another bit, and it's not really funny, but it is, he's trying to stop someone from killing themselves from jumping off a bridge. So he's running down to stop this person. I don't know if it was his friend, like, Bob, don't do it, Bob. And he runs up to someone and he goes, Bob, don't do it. Thinking that, and it wasn't his friend. It was someone else about to jump. And he said, oh, sorry. And he carries on running. Like, doesn't try and help him. It's just those little moments that made me laugh. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid or plaid. That's kind of he's a detective in that, I think, and it's very pulpy, kind of old-fashioned, like detective film. It's a great film. The Man with Two Brains is absolutely absurd, but again, a great film. All of Me. So The Lonely Guy, The Lonely Guy, that's the one where the things I just said earlier. All of Me is where he gets taken over by a woman, spirit of a woman, and it's very funny. It is. I've got to watch these films again. I don't know where do you get to watch them? Nicky Evans, I didn't know. Okay. The Man with Two Brains, he basically, it's just a woman is taking advantage of him, and he'll do anything to be with this woman, and she just leads him along, and to the point where because he does brain surgery, and he ends up, this lady says, if you finish, he said, all right, she said, I want you now, and he said, oh no, but I've got to do this brain surgery. She says, the quicker you do it, the quicker you can have me. So he ends up doing 2 brain surgeries at the same time. You see him spinning their heads on and off, and it's very silly, very silly. Movers and Shakers, that's a cameo, so I don't remember that. Three Amigos, it was alright. I don't remember I watched it. I don't think I watched it till about a couple of years after it was released. Little Shop of Horrors, because he played the dentist, didn't he, in that? He was good in that, but, the star of that was Ricky Moranis, is it? That was just a great film. Little Shop of Horrors, brilliant film. Everyone involved, even didn't Meatloaf get involved at some point? It's just a great film. Roxanne, I loved Roxanne. I did. Absolutely loved that film when it first came out. Again, 86. I probably didn't see it till 89. Or even 90. Seriously, I don't think I saw it when it first came out, because in 1986, 87, I was working in a chip shop. I didn't have any money. I didn't really go to the cinema. I didn't really do anything. So I've seen all these films, but I think I watched them on video a couple of years later after they were released. Because films didn't come onto video really quickly back then in this country. Sometimes there would be like a year wait before they came onto video. And might be 4 or 5 years before they were on television. Now, it moves a lot quicker. So, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, I loved that film. But to me, John Candy was a star of that. I mean, they're both in it, but because Steve Martin was the grumpy, kind of horrible one, wasn't he, in the film? So that didn't. Yeah, I liked the film, but it was for John Candy. I was a fan of John Candy. He's very funny, but it was lovable. Parenthood. That's when I stopped watching him. That's when I stopped really watching him. I think I saw it, but I was like less interested, My Blue Heaven, I'm pretty sure I've seen that, but I can't remember what that was about. What was My Blue Heaven about? Ricky Moranis, whatever's in it as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've not seen it, I don't think. And then LA Story. See, LA Story was good. Very different from anything that he'd done before. He wrote it, a writer and executive producer. It's funny, but it was kind of drama, a bit serious, but it was funny as well. And that's it. A Leap of Faith. Yeah, I watched it. Nothing. I don't know. It's just he didn't. I think maybe he needed to just write his own films instead of being an actor for other people's movies. Because that seemed to be where he really shined. His early films he wrote. I don't know, but then I'm just looking. There's not really anything really that to take on the Pink Panther role for me was almost sacrilege, just because the Pink Panther. It just do something different. Do something maybe a little bit similar, but something different, Although there was one really funny bit in the Pink Panther film that Steve Martin was in, and he was in a recording studio, and he went into the booth. Before he went into the recording booth, he said, "Is it soundproof?" And then they said, "Yes." So he goes in there and he lets off the loudest fart. Now that just, it's soundproof, but the other way around, it's soundproof so you can't hear outside the sound, but they could hear him. Now that for me, that had me laughing, but then it's farting. Doesn't take much. A fart, I find farting funny, so hey. Because I'm a child. I'm a child. Ugh. I don't know what I'm talking about, excuse me. Oh. It's only 9 o'clock in the evening. I wonder what's on telly. There's got to be something on TV. It's been a quiet day for my podcast today. Honestly, I've had just under 16,000 downloads today. But I'd expect that. It's Christmas, isn't it? People... I don't even know if I'd listen today. Though I haven't done much. I spent a lot of time asleep or just dozing. Quite like a roast dinner. I would. That'd be nice. A nice roast dinner, but I don't think you get any takeaways or anything today. Everything's closed, pretty much. I wonder if the Indian takeaway is closed. I might go up there and get a takeaway, get a vegetable curry. I love a vegetable curry. I do. Why no chicken? Why no beef? Why vegetable? I just like vegetable curry. I think it's the potatoes. A potato in a curry is just really nice. It's just me. It's just one of those things I like a mild curry. I don't really like curry much. I like the taste of curries. I probably even like the taste of, the really, 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 really strong ones. The taste, but my body reacts. I have an allergic reaction to strong curries. It's not for me. Not at all. I remember once I went for a meal with someone that I liked. We went to a pizza place, and she had jalapenos on a pizza, and I said, "Oh, I'll have the same. I'll have the same," I said. Kathleen says, "Got to go now, boring. Happy, healthy New Year." Are you calling me boring? Is that my name now, is it? Boring. Got to go now, boring. Happy New Year, healthy New Year. Kathleen, my name is not boring. Is that what everyone's going to call me now from now on? Boring. It's so rude. Happy New Year to you. Have a happy, healthy New Year as I cough. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye, Kathleen. Boring the Great. Thank you. What was I saying? Distracted. I was distracted. I don't know what I was talking about now. I don't remember. I don't know. Anyone? I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I had a pizza. Nikita says you're self-proclaimed boring. Yeah, the podcast is boring. You can't mind. No, I don't mind. I can't. You're right. That's the thing. If anyone says, "Oh, your podcast is really boring," I have to just say brilliant, because that's what it's supposed to be. But Debbie's going for food. She hasn't said goodbye, just food. That's all she's posted. Food. Oh, were you telling me what I was talking about? Food. Pizza with jalapenos. And this lady I was with, she was getting jalapeno. I said, "Yeah, I'll just have the same." So it saves me having to think for myself. And I didn't know what they were. I thought they were like little fishes. I don't know why. I thought they were like little fishes. And of course they're not. And I had my normal reaction where I was crying. Oh, tears, water coming out of places that you shouldn't come out of when you're at a dinner table. It was awful. Absolutely awful. I couldn't even talk to her. Blowing your nose at a dinner table isn't the height of etiquette to start with. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. You know what I mean? We all got. You can't just let it all just drip down. But to be continuously blowing your nose, I basically just had to stick the toilet tissue up my nose just to try and block it, which would put anyone off their dinner, really. She didn't seem to be bothered. I think she was happy she's got a discount because she had vouchers. I don't know. But I just couldn't. I could hardly breathe. Like, and this, I can't do hot food. I just can't. I don't have the capacity to handle it, and I never have been able to. And I don't know why. I mean, of course, I've not been brought up with hot food. I'm being brought up with some would say English food is very bland. A lot of other countries class English food as bland. It's very, it needs some spices, a bit of something. I don't agree. I'm used to this kind of food, and I like the English food. I don't dislike other food. It's just I can't do. Look at my hair. It looks like a wig, doesn't it? Look. What do I do with it? I don't know what to do with it, honestly. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, I haven't had my hair this long in years. It's so curly. I don't know if you can see, you can't see the back, but it's really curly, sticking out. Look. My hair is naturally curly. And you wouldn't know that unless I told you. You wouldn't know it from normally, because since I've been doing videos, I've had my hair either bald or very, very short the whole time, pretty much. A couple of times I've had it long, longish like this, and I've had a big, massive beard. But generally, I have it short. So, but when it gets longer, it gets really curly. As it gets even longer, honestly, it turns almost into an afro. And you say, oh no, seriously, it's really, really thick and really curly, my hair. To the point where when I get up in the morning, when it's long, I can't put a brush through it. I can't put a comb through it. I have to sort of ease my way, starting at the roots, starting at the ends, and just working my way into it. Because it's so thick and curly. It is like, I don't know. I'm going to say pubic, but I'm not. It's just very curly. And thick. And part of the reason why I'm letting it grow, part of the reason, look at my hair, look, I've got a bald seed in there. It's terrible, isn't it? Part of the reason is because I'm 51 years old. Look how many 51-year-old men are bald. Like bald. Or are too bald to not just shave it off. Or maybe they have comb overs or whatever. And grey, like completely grey. Now look, I've got some grey in my hair. But I've got a lot of dark hair. And it just dawned on me, last time I shaved my head and I picked the hair up from the floor, the lady in the supermarket was very grateful. And I thought, you know what? Darby says hi. Hi, Darby. Hello. Debbie says, love your highlights, leave it. Highlights. It's grey. I thought, well, my hair is probably 90, if not more, 90% not grey. I'd say 95% not grey. Pretty much the whole of the back of my hair is just got no grey hardly at all. The front is obviously I've got a patch of grey there, and there's some greys. Then a side, a little bit to the side, but not huge amounts. There's a patch there, obviously, right at the front, so everyone can see it. Thanks. So I'm receding. But I've been receding at the sides there since I was about 28. But it's not gone any further. The front, there's a little patch which is, maybe not, the hairs have kind of fallen out of each other and have moved away from each other. And again there, look, that's a little bit further back than that one, I think. Just a little bit. And it's just more prominent, really, when my hair gets longer, because you can see it. And I've got a bit of a bald patch at the back of my head. Still hair there, but it's balding, as it were. And I thought, I'm damn sexy anyway, obviously. Darby says silver, not grey. Am I a silver fox? A silver fox. So obviously I'm damn sexy anyway, as we all know. But I thought, well, what a harm. As I've already got hair, and many men would be like, well, why are you shaving it off if you've got hair? And the main reason I used to shave my head is because I was, once I got into Buddhism, I was, a lot of people that practice Buddhism shave their head. And I kind of went along for it. Debbie says, are you auditioning for James Bond then? Well, if they're willing to have a middle-aged fat man as a James Bond, I'll go for it. I'll be honest with you, I ain't going to turn it down, am I? If they phoned me up and said, oh, JJ, I suppose you fancy earning 10 million a film as a James Bond, I'm like, let me think about it. Yeah, I would. But they wouldn't be doing any walking out of the sea, bits. You know what they did with the first Bond film when he walked out of the sea and he was like all ripped and his muscles and stuff. They wouldn't do that with me. You might just see my head poking out of the sea. That'd be it. I'd have to have a body double. But then they'd have to find someone as fat as me. Where would they find someone this fat? James Bond. Humpty Dumpty. I could perhaps audition for that position. Right. I do believe this is the end of the recording. We've been here for an hour, over an hour and a half. Doesn't seem like it, does it? For those that are here right from the beginning, an hour and a half we've been chatting. Wow. It just goes to show, because I thought, maybe I'd do a 3-hour show. And then I think, I couldn't talk for 3 hours. I can. I could talk for 3 hours. I know I can, but I'm used to doing an hour, sometimes a little bit more when I do my, let me bore you to sleep recordings. But to do 3 hours just seems quite a lot. But when there's interaction like this, an hour and a half was easy, simple. It flew by. So maybe there is a possibility of doing perhaps a 3-hour recording regularly every day, like a live broadcast every day. Well, maybe 5 days a week at a specific time. So I don't know, it's possible. I am really considering it, like genuinely considering doing that. But I'll have to wait and see. But as long as I have interaction, I can have emails, I can have, different messages sent to me, different ways. If I'm on YouTube, I guess people can contact me on there, which means I'll have more interaction with more different people, which again will make the time go by. Not that I'm doing it to make time go by, but it will just make it more interesting, I think. Nikita says, Merry Christmas, Toodles. Jason, I told you my name's Jason. So I've been called boring, now I'm called Toodles. Anyway, I'm going to go as well. So thank you, everyone. Have a brilliant Christmas, what's left of it, or Boxing Day, if it's Boxing Day where you are. Or if it's your birthday, you might be listening to this in August. Who knows? I'm not saying it's August somewhere in the world right now. I'm talking about, in the future. So, Debbie says, do it. Thank you, Jason. Merry Christmas. Thanks, Debbie. I'll think about it. I have to think of what's a good time to do it? That's the problem. That's the issue. What is a good time? Because, we'll see. I'd like to do it live on the podcast as well. So there are ways of doing this, but I don't know the technology. But I'd like to maybe do live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram, maybe live on Twitter as well, and then do the podcast, record the podcast. So at least then the quality of the sound And if something goes wrong with the live stream or whatever, at least I've got the backup of the podcast, so I can still upload it. So what I might do is, yeah, I'm just gonna have a look. We'll see what happens. See what happens. It might be a case of I might need to get another microphone. I don't know. Debbie Guild says now. Do it. Now. Okay. Blimey. Patient much? I'm gonna go. So, take care, everybody. And I know there's only a few people watching live, and commenting, but even that small group of people that have been watching has made this what it is. So, yeah. It's a different feeling to probably, and maybe, I don't know, it's whether or not that is what people will be happy to listen to compared to my long, boring monologues that I would do maybe on a normal podcast sometimes. So I guess there's room for both. We'll see. So I might look to do a live recording, maybe starting in the new year. I need to build up to it and work out what I want to do, and because it's a commitment. It's not really fair on people if I say I'm going to be here at 11 o'clock every night for 3 hours, and then I do it for 2 nights and I stop doing it. That just it's not very fair. Or if I do it for a month and then I stop doing it. So it's a case of trying to not put too much on myself, because I'm also making other recordings and other videos and all that stuff. So there's a lot of other stuff that I'm doing. The thing just cut out. It just cut out on me. Oh, anyway, I'm going to go now. So thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Merry Christmas and all that stuff. And I shall speak to you soon. Bye. Thanks everyone for watching on Facebook. Ta-ra.